Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. I'm excited to bring you guys this one. We're doing a Q&A. I asked you guys for questions on Instagram and we're going to run through them. There's some good questions in here, some crazy ones. I said anything goes. I will not be answering some of them because they're probably going to get the video demonetized and some of you are going to judge me, but I figured it would be fun to do a Q&A on the YouTube channel because I don't think we've ever really done a proper like Q&A video. Obviously, tons of skiing vlogs, tons of other stuff coming up. I just want to make some videos where I get to, it's not just about the sport. It's, we get to be a community, we get to talk, we get to hang out, you guys get to know me better, stuff like that on the YouTube channel itself. So, hope you guys enjoy this. If you want to see more like this, let me know. If you have any other video ideas, talking too fast. If you have any other video ideas that you'd like to see, by all means, let me know. I'm really looking forward to making it. And yeah, let's dive into some of these questions. So right off the bat, I'm not actually going to put the question on the screen because that takes a lot of effort for me, but I will look at it and I'll hold it up here and I'll give you a little shout out. Also, shout out to the members. We have 3 YouTube channel members and I really appreciate your guys' support. It helps, helps me get this YouTube channel rolling and stuff like that. There's a lot of content that I want to make and film and edit and put out, but I'm not able to do it myself. Like I'm skiing, competing full time. I do a bunch of other stuff as well. And I'm trying to bring other people on to help me edit videos, to put more content and stuff out for you guys. And all the channel members, your support goes towards pretty much just paying somebody to help edit these videos and put out as much content as I can for you guys because I love doing it. So yeah, anyways, with that being said, first question, I'm going to run through these in kind of a random order because they are kind of random. Not all of them are about skiing, but we're going to start off from Raphael Sasher. Are you going to be going to the Nines again? And it's Swatch Nines. In the past, it was Audi Nines. It's probably one of the bigger, more premier ski and snowboard events of the year. And if you haven't seen what the Nines is, by all means, you guys should go check out the Nines. Like, they've been putting on the most crazy park setups, builds, everything like that for probably the last 10, 20 years. It's absolutely insane. This place is mind-blowing. It was the craziest park setup, craziest actual resort I've been to probably in my entire life. And keep in mind, I'm traveling the world, going to World Cups and going to all the different ski hills. I've seen some crazy ski hills, man. This shit was insane. It was the ski hill itself is up on top of a 400-foot cliff, and you have to take a gondola up to get to the actual ski resort or the town where the ski resort's in. There's no cars or anything like that. Take a gondola up to the actual mountain, and then you ski down. It's it's in springtime, so all the other runs aren't open. But up on the glacier, you ski around this corner. And all of a sudden you see the Nines, and it's the most craziest setup, I swear to God, you've ever seen in your life. The jump, it looks like it's something straight out of a movie or a Lego set. It doesn't even look real at first because it's way down there in the distance. But it's just these huge sandcastle builds made out of snow, and you go down there and you actually start skiing it and looking up close. I swear to God, they had the quarter pipes this year, the big jump and everything like that, and it's 100 feet big. You're 100 feet tall. I'm sitting there at the bottom, my short ass 5'3". I'm looking up. I'm like, what the hell? It's crazy, and I really hope I get the opportunity to go to the Nines again. The reason I went to the Nines this year, I wasn't actually invited as an athlete, which it's very hard to get invited as an athlete to the Nines. They have very, very few spots. But I do a lot of stuff with Insta360, and they've been a huge sponsor of mine, and they've really supported my ski career and also the content and stuff we put out. And they sponsored Insta360 sponsored the Nines for the first time this year. They sponsored the snow event, the wakeboarding the surfing event, the mountain biking event. And through the Nines, they have spots to bring some of their own athletes that they sponsor or they want to be at this event, and they invited me, which was really, really cool. They invited Steve, he went as well, and another guy named Marco, if you guys don't know Marco, Confetti, on Confetti Boy, I believe, on Instagram. You should check him out. He's got some amazing content as well. But all 3 of us went. We made some content for Insta360. We got to ski the whole setup. I filmed a couple vlogs. All this stuff is coming out soon. Again, it's if I have an editor, I would have had these videos out already, but I haven't had time to get around to making them myself. But I have all the videos, 7 days of skiing at the Nines. It's coming out, and it's crazy. I really hope I get to go. Next year, the Nines is in Japan, so they're changing it to a new location. I believe it's Sapporo, Japan. I don't actually know the exact location or ski hill. I was there when they announced it, but I don't remember it because short-term memory loss, all this kind of stuff. But yeah, it's in Japan, and I would love nothing more than to go there this year. And I do think it's probably going to end up happening. It probably will end up there this year. But yeah, fingers crossed. If I get to go there this year, I'm going to do some crazy shit, less content and more just like crank on the course, and also just hang out with everybody and do the Ace360 stuff, obviously. But, you know, it's your first time at the nines, and like I don't want to be stepping on anybody's toes. I'm just meeting everybody, so I'm kind of just like staying in my lane. I'm not hitting I'm going up. Me and Steep's a maniac, man. He's going up at like 8:30 in the morning, very first guy in the park. And we're trying to get some laps in before everybody gets up there, so we're not like kind of in the way of like the filmers and everything else like that, hitting all the features. But very, very cool. Next question from Dr. Russ 1. Do you use snooze or Zin? So in the past, obviously, like, you know, you grew up in freestyle skiing culture, you know, just life in general. Like, you're a high school kid, a university kid. I went to college and university, so I partied. I definitely partied. I partied pretty hard. Partied really hard, actually. As I'm downing my coffee, I partied really hard. But I also, like, to be fair, I didn't get into like being a real serious athlete until like probably like 21, 22. Like, I started this sport, like, which we'll get into, or probably is a question in here, when I was about 17. So, you know, I just got out of high school. I was like just starting the sport. I was barely competing seriously. I was just having fun with it. And I went to university and college because, you know, I didn't think I could make a career in the sport. And yeah, of course, I was with all my friends. We were going out partying. There was one year in university that was pretty bad. I was probably going out to the club/bar like 4 or 5 nights a week, getting like almost blackout. So of course, I did a lot of nicotine and stuff like that at that time. Smoked some substances like weed and stuff like that, and also drank. Now, I don't do that stuff barely ever. I did a full year sober a while back. Not necessarily because I had a problem or anything like that, just because I wanted to, like, you know, install some discipline in my lifestyle. And it was when I was really starting to take my skiing and like career as an athlete serious. And I'm like, hey, if I want to do this, I'm going to have to like be as disciplined as I can. So I did do a year where I did absolutely no substances at all. Last year, I was like, you know, I didn't set any rules for myself, but I'm pretty good. Like, maybe I'll have like 1 or 2 drinks like a week, if that. I'm not a whole lot of nicotine. I used to vape a lot when vapes first came out, but I stopped doing that. Yeah, so not a whole lot of that. This year, I'm doing, up until the end of the Olympics. When the Olympics is over, I'm doing absolutely no alcohol. Again, not like I was drinking a lot before, but just I want to install a bit more discipline, and it's like a little like mental edge. You're like, hey, like I'm doing like one extra thing that other people are not doing. So I wanted to give myself that little mental edge this year. However, after like ski contests, I don't really use nicotine, but after like a ski contest, if I performed well, my reward for performing well at that ski contest was I would go buy myself a little tin with some snooze or Zins, and I would probably have like, sometimes I would finish the whole tin. Sometimes I would only have like, you know, 2 or 3 on there. Like, maybe we have like a 5-hour ride back to the airport the next day or something like that. That'd be my reward for a contest. So yes, you know, I like to live a little bit, but I am trying to be pretty strict with it, especially like, you know, this time of my career and this time of my life, just because I want to be like, I want to have that little bit of mental edge and just that discipline going into events and contests and just life in general. So yeah, not like I'm against it or anything like that. Not like I'm like, I know it, we all know it's not good for you, that stuff, but like, it's also, you know, you also have to have some fun and enjoy your life at the same time. So everything in moderation is usually pretty good for the most part. Question from our boy Landon OM. Love that guy. What is your dream sponsor you would love to be a part of? So very cool. I'm going to give you guys 2 answers for this. There's like 2 different, like, I guess, levels of sponsorship I would want to be sponsored by. One is like, you know, your typical like ski, snowboard, action sports sponsorship. I've always dreamt of being sponsored by like big name energy drink company, which right now in the space is pretty much just Red Bull or Monster. They're like the 2 big name ones. Having that like kind of staple on your career, like that kind of childhood like dream of like getting sponsored by Monster or Red Bull come together, would be like, that would be a dream sponsor of mine, obviously. And I would love to work like with the company or a brand like that to actually put on some like cool projects. Like, you know, Red Bull does projects or Monster does projects, stuff like that. And it's kind of like a way where you can kind of like get to the point where you're like, hey, I made it as an action sport athlete, where I'm sponsored by like a Rockstar, a Red Bull, a Monster. Obviously there's different, you know, levels, and like, you know, sometimes like sponsorships like this don't always go to the best athletes and stuff like that. But I feel like that would be just like a very like career defining, like, okay, like I can like ride to, I show up to the park and I put on my Red Bull helmet, or I show up to the park, I put on my Monster helmet. So that would be a dream sponsor. And then I'm going to go with like a weird dream sponsor as well, which I haven't thought of. So I'm going to try to come up with it off the dome right now. But I would love to be sponsored by, this is going to take me like a second to think about. It would be like something that like does really crazy travel expeditions, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know if it's even out there. I believe there's some stuff like that out there, but like a company or a brand that like does or promotes, or like as being sponsored by them, you do crazy like travel adventure stuff. Like you go like to a very remote rural part of Africa, or like to like Madagascar or something, like do like kind of like side quests, traveling side quests, adventure side quests, that kind of thing. Like, I don't even know of a brand or company for that, but that would be like a dream kind of like scenario sponsorship. Like when I'm done my ski career, I would love to go like kind of like live like a real life adventure style like action movie, but like traveling to different places, and whether that's like going on trips with like groups of people to like these really remote places, and maybe being like an influencer on that or whatever it is to help promote it. Like, that would be very cool for me. Next one we got from Orion B. What is your best advice for taking trips from tramp to bag to snow? So great question. If you guys haven't checked out the Slope Academy YouTube channel already, we actually do have a YouTube channel for Slope Academy now. And for those of you guys that don't know what Slope Academy is, it's like basically our online community where we have all the athletes that are learning to progress in freestyle skiing all in one spot. And you guys can ask us trick questions, stuff like that. Send us videos. We'll break it down and give you video review feedback. There's tutorials and all that other stuff. But I made a video about this for the Slope Academy YouTube channel, so that'll be coming out soon. If you haven't already, go subscribe. The link will be down below and in the description. I think we're almost at like 50 subscribers there, but we just started it. So, but my best advice for taking it from tramp to bag to snow, for the most part, is the reason that your tramp tricks aren't coming to snow very well isn't really because you're not comfortable in the air. It's just because you're not comfortable on your skis and hitting jumps at that level. Like, if you're like, let's say normally your tramp skills until you get up to like dub 14s and stuff like that on tramp are going to be considerably better than your ski skills. So let's say you want to do a cork 7 on snow, cork 7 on snow, you should be able to probably do like almost a dub 10 on tramp, or a dub 10 on tramp, and at least like all 3-way, 4-way 9s on tramp, right? Like your tramp skills should be this much higher. A lot of people, they'll do their first cork 7 on snow or on tramp, they'll just learn it and they'll be like, okay, I'm going to take it to snow, I'm going to do it on snow, but they can barely even 360, or their 360 is really bad, and they're setting their 360, they're penciled like this, they're not bringing their knees to their chest, they have no idea of like proper like takeoffs and like timing on the jump, or like how to bring their knees to their chest, or just be controlled in the air. So a lot of people are just trying to do these tramp tricks that they want to bring from tramp and bag to snow too early, and they're like, oh well, I can't figure it out because the weight difference on the skis is different. You know, the timing's different when I'm doing it on skis than on tramp. And a lot of that is just because you're not comfortable enough actually hitting jumps and doing the basic tricks on skis before you're trying to do like a cork 7 or something like that. So a lot of it for you guys transitioning your tramp skills over to snow is just spend more time getting comfortable in the air on skis, hitting a jump, bringing your knees to your chest, getting used to the swing weight of your skis, stuff like that. So for the most part, you guys just need to be a bit more patient, and also just like spend more time actually getting comfortable on the jump. If you are comfortable with all those things, then it comes down to like, okay, like proper like takeoff and stuff like that, and making sure you're getting, because you do have a bit of extra swing weight on your skis. So like, let's say you're doing a cork 7 and you're setting like you would on trampoline, but you know, when you set your tips of your skis are going down, but the rest of your body's coming up, then we have to figure out like, okay, how do I keep my tips or how do I get my tips to rise when I'm taking off and stuff like that. But this is all stuff like when you have, even if you don't have a coach in person, you can send us videos like this in Slope Academy, and we're going to look at it. We're going to send you a video like talking you through, breaking down like what you need to do, next steps, and how to move on from there in that. So I think that's like the basic answer for that question, but there's like, you know, you can do things like that. Next question from Mr. Azak26 is, what tuning brand do you like? And it says like cars. So I'm wondering if it's like a car tuning brand. I don't know any car stuff. I'm not really a car guy, to be honest. And for tuning for like skis and stuff like that, I don't know. I just use like Swix, I guess. SWIX. It works pretty well. Next question we got from Nico Tapuria, Mr. Tapuria, for my UFC guys. Can you get a sponsor at 14? Good question. You can get a sponsor at any age. At 14, being a younger athlete, it's going to be a little bit harder to get sponsored unless you're like somewhat of a child prodigy, because you don't have a lot of, well, first of all, you're going to be a lot less experienced talking to companies, reaching out, all that kind of stuff. You likely probably have a smaller audience, which is all stuff you have to work towards and get more comfortable with. But also you don't have that kind of like status, right? Like, or that ability to be worked with as much. You're 14, right? So you don't really understand the industry as much. Totally possible. A lot of 14-year-olds that are like half decent, like they can reach out to the local ski shop and get sponsored, maybe get like discounted skis, stuff like that, or they can get like work with the local shop to get like discounted skis, sponsorship like that with like Head Skis or whoever like the local rep is that runs through that shop. That would be the best way to go about it, is like reach out to your local ski shop and see if you can get something going through there. But it's definitely going to be harder at a younger age, but it's not impossible. It's just like a lot of it is just you don't really understand what you need to do, right? And again, like, hate to plug Slope Academy again, but we literally just like we will walk you guys through that stuff, and there's actually a full course on sponsorships in there as well. Next question from Max J. Have you ever used Elan skis? I think that's how you pronounce it, Elan. Made in my country, and I want to know your opinion. So I rode a pair of Elan skis when I was about Nico Deporia's age, when I was like probably like 15, 16. It was like my very first like pair of like twin tip skis before I could even spin or do like 360s. It was like a tiny pair of like Elan's, like, I guess they weren't snow blades because I was a midget, and I still am, but I was pretty much a midget back then, so it was like this big, and they were fun. They were super sick. They don't really make a good park ski anymore, so I haven't used, I'm also sponsored by Line, but I haven't used that ski in a long time. I think they're pretty decent skis, but I haven't rode them for tons of years. So next one from Jules Valentine. What is your pro tip for rail tricks? There's a lot of I can give you guys a lot of tips on actual ski tricks and stuff like that. Rails is one of the things where like I can point you in the right direction. I can tell you what to do, but it doesn't click right away like jumps. Like jumps, I can give you the right tip, and if you implement it immediately, like it should change the way you're doing the trick. Rails, I can tell you the right tip, and you can start implementing it, but it takes a lot of time for it to like kind of start to happen. So pro tip for rail tricks is like you need to spend a lot of time on rail tricks in general. Rail tricks, improving your rail game is something that it simply takes time. You can go the right way with it, but you just need to simply put the time into it. But you also need to work on the right things, if that makes sense. So obviously, like, don't get stuck just doing all front swaps, front side spins out, and just like spinning like with your good, setting your heel edge and spinning that way. You need to be really diverse in your rail game when you're first starting out. Like, make sure you're learning like all way switch up 2 outs, all way like 4 outs, both feet forward, that kind of stuff. Because as you get better and as you go to improve down the line, it's going to make a big difference. So, and it's going to make your progression go faster. Very beginner tips for rails. A lot of people stand super tall, feet together. Don't. Nice athletic stance, feet shoulder width apart. And keep your shoulders, if you guys are the rail, my shoulders are not open looking down the rail. A lot of beginners, like, their feet might be sideways, but their shoulders are like this. Bad habit. Shoulders squared off with your feet on the rail. You can turn your head, but keep the shoulders parallel 90. That's what I would say for that. Next question is from NF Yetz. Good question, actually. I like this one. Upcoming half pipe season and Olympic predictions. It's going to be a hot one. Super sick question. I like that. I like doing a lot of like event recaps, talking about the World Cups for freestyle skiing, X Games, stuff like that. The views on it on the YouTube channel are absolutely terrible. So if you guys like to see that kind of content from me, go run it up when I do post it, because it really doesn't get like a whole lot of views and love. Like, it is what it is. Just the pure POV skiing, you know, that does the trick for most people. But I like doing that stuff. So my predictions for half pipe Olympics this year, there's a lot of really good half pipe skiers that have emerged, and it's going to be a really tough year for everybody. Obviously, I have Nick Gepper as a dark horse. I do think he's going to podium this year, but I don't think he has big enough tricks to get a first at the Olympics. I really hope Nick Gepper does, because I would love to see him get that final first. For all of you guys that don't know, like, he's gone to 3 Olympics in slopestyle, every single Olympics in slopestyle, and he's got a medal at each one, but not a first yet. So if he gets a first in halfpipe in a completely different discipline, that would be insane. And I do think he has a chance. I think he will probably podium. Do I think he's going to get first? I think he's going to have a really hard time, because there's a couple really, really good halfpipe skiers, but it's very possible. So outside of Nick Gepper, I'm going to put him at probably 3rd or 2nd. We have Alex Ferreira. Alex Ferreira is really good, but I don't think he's progressed enough to keep up with like the next generation. So I'm going to say he's probably going to end up around 3rd as well. 3rd, 4th, could be 2nd. And then in 1st, I would have to put Finn Melville. I don't know how to say his name. Finn Melville Ives, I think. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but Finn Ski. He's going to be probably one of the top dogs to beat for halfpipe this year. He just has unique, different tricks that these guys don't have. Like, he's doing like a dub flat, I believe 12 or 14 in the pipe, which is crazy. He's got both way 16s. He's got switch. I'm trying to think of who did the triple. Maybe it was Luke Harold that did the triple. One guy did a triple in that. I think it was Luke. Did a triple in the halfpipe this year as well. But I think Finn will be like one of the top guys, if not probably win it. He's very consistent as well. Nick Gepper 2nd, Alex Ferreira 3rd. That would be my pick. But I could see something happening, like, you know, Finn makes a little bobble and Nick Gepper ends up in 1st. That could be possible. And for the Olympics, yeah, that's like pretty much going to be the same kind of podium for the World Cups as well. For slopestyle, your boy, we're going to make the Olympics. That's the goal for this year. So drop a W in the chat, as the live stream kids would say, if you think I can make it. But I'm really gunning to try to make the Olympics this year. And I want to do as good as I can, obviously, there. To make a finals in the Olympics, especially like coming in last minute this season, would be huge for me. And that would be kind of the goal. There's going to be some really hard people to beat for like Olympic stuff, like Berkerud and stuff like that. They're very consistent. They're very good for slopestyle and big air. I would love to see Andre Rigetti podium this year. He's got 2 fourths, and the guy works so hard he doesn't deserve it. So next question from Eli Myers is, I just moved to Montreal for uni. Where's the best place to ski nearby? Welcome, my brother. I'm in Montreal. If you want to go skiing this year, hit me up. Eli Myers. I'm skiing like all the time. So yeah, and I live in Montreal, and I'm skiing nearby whenever I'm home and not at World Cups or contests. So would love to ski with you. Best resort with a train park is probably Saint-Sever, and it's Avila Saint-Sever. The train park's on the Avila mountain, but it's connected. It's the same thing. So go to Avila. It's probably the best train park. It's 30 minutes from Montreal, and it's probably the best train park in like this area, like in Quebec, to be honest, other than Stoneham. So yeah, that place for sure. Wow, favorite Twin Tower. Cannot answer that one. Is upside down on skis different from trampoline because the boot weight? From Kyle Gizadowicz. No, we kind of covered this, the same thing. The boot weight, the ski weight is more just you getting used to it, actually hitting jumps more, getting more comfortable. The weight of it based on trampoline to skiing is not really noticeable. It's more just like, if you weren't comfortable doing 360s with a swing weight of your skis, you're not going to be comfortable doing flips. Best way to find right ski boots for park the way you ride, from Charlie Beauchamp. I think everybody should probably ride a stiffer park boot when you are freestyle skiing. I think it's just like a stiffer boot, when you're freestyle skiing. It's going to give you more control. But just go to the local ski shop. Surefoot is really, really good. They're going to deck you out, but you're going to spend a fortune on your boots. Most ski shops like Corbett's or any other place like that will give you a good boot fitting, and they'll set you up. Favorite mountain on the East Coast? Brother, I don't know. I haven't skied a whole lot of mountains on the East Coast recently, like true East Coast. I did ski Sugarbush this year, and it was really, really sick, so I'll say that one for now. GG Free Ski MP4. Will you come back to Corvatch Park? Absolutely. There's always a World Cup at Corvatch, and it's one of the better train parks in the world, so I'll be back. I had a lot of fun there last year. Last year we did a training camp early season before the slopestyle contest season started in Corvatch, and it was really good. Next question from Stranista13, how many calories do you eat per day? So normally I like don't give a shit how many calories I eat. Like I just eat whatever the hell I want and I just go at it. Like I just go to town. But I'm trying to get like super six-pack abs for the ski season this year, like mega shredded. So I've been counting my calories, and I think like I'm in a 500 calorie deficit each day, more or less. And I would say on average I burn like 2,000 to 2,500 calories if I'm not doing crazy amounts of training. So I probably eat like 1,500 to 2,000 calories a day, which is not a lot, to be honest. But before that, I would fucking eat everything, probably like 3,000. Hayden T. Smith, what allowed you to go full-time in skiing? What was my big break? Very interesting. So great question. What allowed me to go full-time in freestyle skiing was actually, well, obviously social media, but not sponsorships and stuff from social media, but actually doing online coaching. So when I first started Slope Academy, I started doing, it was actually called Peak Performance Pro, what was the name? Peak Performance Program, I believe. And I started doing online coaching for freestyle skiing. I was working construction full-time in the summer to pay for my skiing contest year, my season, stuff like that. And I absolutely hated it. No one likes working construction, but you go and you do it. I had a bunch of other summer jobs and stuff like that, work like a couple each summer and like save up as much money as I can to train and go and ski all winter long, which, it never lasts, especially when you're traveling for contests. Like, you work all summer for like pretty much minimum wage. You're going to save up enough money to make it through like 2 months of the winter if you're going traveling and competing a lot. And yeah, I just was watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. And I started watching more like YouTube videos about like business and stuff. And like, I keep seeing like this idea of like doing online coaching if you're like, prevalent in your space, you know what you're talking about. And at this point I had like so many questions from you guys, like these ones here, asking me how to do tricks, how to improve, like how to fix these tricks and stuff like that. And I figured it was kind of just like a good way to do it. So I took on like 10 or 15 athletes for the first season. And it was enough where I could like quit my job. And like, I was able to like make enough money throughout the season where I would like just break even and I would be coaching, as much as I could every day after skiing, helping everybody out every day after skiing. And I would go train during the day. And then over the years, that kind of evolved into Slope Academy, where we have a bunch of athletes. We have like a membership, and we do over coaching in there. And yeah, that kind of like was the point where like I started to be able to go full time and not have a job. Like I didn't have to work for anybody after that. I was still like, working, doing online coaching, stuff like that, but I wasn't working for somebody else. And as I, was growing Slope Academy and making more money from that and like starting to, be able to make my own time and do that kind of stuff, my social media was growing and stuff as well. So I started getting more sponsorship deals and everything like that and getting more money from sponsors and stuff. Carson Milliron. How long have you been skiing? I've been skiing. This will be like my 10th year of park skiing. So I was skiing before, but like just with family, like once or twice a year. And like I wasn't very good. And this will probably be my 10th year, like park skiing. So since I started hitting, like I hit my first rail and first jump. Joshua Giannacola, how can I get my air awareness better while doing bigger tricks? Visualizing is going to help your air awareness a lot. Just spending more time on trampolines can help your air awareness a lot. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Visualizing, obviously doing the tricks more is going to help your air awareness, and just doing a bunch of tramp. Like if you can visualize the tricks, you can do them on tramp a lot, and you can you do them multiple times, you're going to be able to spot and just see where you are better. Doing like just more time on jumps, doing like, let's say like you want to improve your air awareness on dub 10, doing a lot of cork 7s is still going to improve your air awareness on a dub 10. So like you can't do dub 10s all day, but you can do a lot of cork 7s throughout the day without getting tired or getting hurt, and that will like improve your air awareness for dub 10s. Luke Towner 78, how long does it take to become good at skiing? To become average at park skiing, I would say it's going to take you 4 years, and you'll be very good in 4 years. You'll be better than like the majority of people that start park skiing in 4 years, I think. Ben McGrail, what is a trick you use to calm yourself down before trying something new? Obviously, like trying to get myself in the present moment as much as possible. It's scary trying a new trick. So grounding yourself, getting yourself in the present moment, focusing on your breath. And then I like to tell myself a little mental cue, because we always, when we're trying something that's scary or like, that we're worried about getting hurt on, a new trick, we're always thinking about everything that could go wrong and like all the ways you could get hurt. So I like to think about, like, to myself, I say it to myself before I drop in, what if everything goes right? We're always thinking about like what happens if you get hurt? What happens if you slam? Like, am I gonna like go too fast? Am I gonna not flip too much or whatever? But instead of thinking about those things and asking yourself those things in your mind, why don't you just say to yourself, what if everything goes right? And try to put yourself in that mindset, that what if everything goes right? So I've been using that, and I find that works as well. Jesse Money. Jess Money. When and where is your biggest / hardest crash? Oof. I tried to do a dub 16 last year, like second, third day of the season on snow, and my air awareness was just shit. And I did like almost a trip 18, like 2.5 to my side, and bodied myself pretty good. But I haven't had, knock on wood, I haven't had any like serious slams on skiing. I've got a couple concussions. I've probably took a couple good head rocks that are like a little bit up. They're probably up there, but I haven't broken anything. So yeah. Sam Albert, what park skis should I get that are durable? Armadas are pretty durable. I haven't ridden a lot of skis that are in line recently in the last couple of years, but from what I've rode, Armadas are pretty durable, and Vocals are pretty durable as well. Sickle 4545. Is it possible to go pro in freestyle skiing at 17 when I learned to ski last season? It's going to be very tough. I started when I was like 16, 17, but I also, I was able to ski before then, and I wasn't like bad at skiing before then. So you're going to have to put in a lot of work, but it's definitely possible. I spent like, 3-4 years where I was like half partying, half at university, half college, not taking my ski career like super seriously. So if you take it seriously from 17 on and like really focus and work hard, for sure, it's possible. C. Jordan Sens, do you think you could do a quad? I do think I could do a quad, but I really don't want to find out if I can do a quad, to be honest. Like, if I spent some time and actually trained and thought about it, I could probably do a quad backflip or like a quad cork or like a switch quad cork or something like that. But the risk versus reward, I don't know about that, man. But like, I'm going to be doing trip 18s, trip 19s anyway. So at that point, like a trip 19 compared to like a quad, like, 16 or whatever it would be, the actual difficulty isn't like that much harder. It isn't even really harder. It's just like, do you have a big enough jump to do it? And can you get the right axis to get around on a jump that's not like a million feet big? Because like, if you give me like a fucking like 200-foot jump with like a landing that I know if as long as I make the landing, I'm going to be fine. Like, I could get 4 flips around, no problem. Like, it's not that I can't get 4 flips around. It's just like, can I get 4 flips around and not explode on like a realistically sized jump? Probably not. How did you land your first sponsor? Actually doing lots of outreach. So I would email a lot of companies and message them like, hey, like, my name is Bruce. Here's like my skiing abilities. Here's how I can like help promote your brand and what I'd like to do to help out and stuff like that. And yeah, lots of reach out. Angus, what is the best way to learn tricks after recovering from an injury? Oof, when you're actually on snow, build into it slowly, like with the progression. Outside of that, I would just say lots of visualizing, making sure that all these tricks make sense in your head and you're confident before going back to snow to trying them. Pemberton Swayer, at what point did you realize skiing was going to be your life and knew a normal job wasn't it? Great question. Probably like when I was in university. So I got kind of like peer pressured into going to university, not peer pressured, but my parents were like, hey, you got to go to school. Like, how are you going to make a career out of freestyle skiing? Like, it's not possible. Like, go the fuck to school. Like, my parents have like, good jobs, and they're like, you need to go to school. You need to get an education. Absolute must. And like, you can keep skiing and do that stuff, but you have to go to school bare minimum. So I went to school, and I was at university, I was partying, I was like barely skiing, I was like barely studying, just making sure I was passing my classes, doing the bare minimum. And I was pretty depressed, to be honest. Not depressed, but I just wasn't like, I was having fun, but I just wasn't like, I wasn't happy. You have this feeling like, hey, like, this is not, I'm capable of doing more than this. And at that point, my sister, who I like got into freestyle skiing a couple of years ago, you guys probably know her, Megan Oldham, probably one of the best freestyle women skiers out there right now, if not ever. She started way after I did, and she like all of a sudden just like exploded onto the scene. Like she did 1 year of skiing, 1 year of competing, and then next year she won, Crystal Globe. Like she won the overall World Cup. She went from like, in 3 years, she went from like never park skiing and then to like me teaching her how to front flip and back flip to, 2.5, 3 years later, like being on the Canadian national team and being the best female freestyle skier in the world in like the span of 3 years, which is crazy. And honestly, that pissed me off more than anything. Like, it was like, fuck, that was my dream. And I'm here like at university doing something I don't want to do just to like fit in. It kind of just like motivated me to go do that. And also showed me that there was a different, like if she, at that point, she had made a career out of this sport that like previously I thought like you couldn't make a career out of, and I didn't think it was possible. She made a career out of that. And it showed me that there was a way to like, hey, like if I want to, if I work hard enough, if I try hard enough, I can also have a career in this sport that I wanted to and I love. And I can, I don't have to, have a university degree or whatever to make it. So that was kind of the point where I was like, this is not what I want to do. Like I always had a feeling like obviously this wasn't what I wanted to do, but I didn't have like a breaking point until like then where it's like, you know what, like what am I doing? Like I'm doing something I don't like. I can always come back if I have to. But I don't have like, forever to do this. Toby Gilbo, next question is, do you ski with a knee brace, and do you know anyone that does? Majority of people that have a knee injury will ski with a knee brace. I tore my LCL this summer grappling people at the MMA gym. Probably, shouldn't do that, but I love it anyways. So I am. And I have a knee brace now. So I'm going to be skiing this season with a knee brace. It's not really a big deal. It's going to help protect your knees, but if you don't have a previous knee injury, you definitely do not need a knee brace. Marius Ackerson, the last question before we head out of here. This is a long Q&A. Damn, boys. You guys are lucky. I'm lucky. I'm lucky to have you guys. So, biggest tip to get over the fear of after having a big crash. Yeah, it's tough. I struggled with that last year. I had a big crash, and it took me a while to get back into it. Like I said at the very beginning of the season, this takes a lot of mental talk, a lot of visualization, a lot of like building steps back up to get to that point where you feel confident to do the trick again. If you take a huge slam, even if you're fine, you go back the next day and you just try to like conquer that demon immediately. Yes, that's not a bad thing if you're able to get over that fear, but it's a really, really hard thing to do. And sometimes it's good just to like, I took a huge slam trying something a little bit ahead of what I'm capable of too early on. So I'm going to spend the next little days like focusing on building up to a point where I've done all the progression steps. Like let's say I want to do a dub 16. I've done done tons of cork 7s. I've done tons of them on trampoline again. I've done tons of dub 12s. I know where I'm spotting in the air. I visualized it a ton. I waited for the right day for it and then kind of go into it that way. But it's more just about getting over the mental part. And a lot of that comes from building up your confidence in the preparation you're doing to get to that point. And I know, it's like any trick you're trying for the first time. You eventually have to just say, okay, like I'm going to do it right now and actually go do it. Like, it's like, as you see all these people are like, I'm going to do a backflip, and then they don't commit. Same thing. Like at some point you just have to commit, but it's going to be a lot easier for you to commit if you are building up to it like the right way, and you are aware that you're building up to it the right way. It's going to help you gain confidence for when you do go back to do it, instead of just like hucking yourself. So yeah. Anyways, that's this Q&A video. I know it was super long. It was way longer than I thought it was going to be, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I really had fun making this video for you guys. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support it, the members channel is there. And also if you want coaching, slopeacademy.com. I'm going to Australia tomorrow, so we're going to have tons of ski vlogs and videos coming up soon. So yeah, deuces. See you boys and girls. I'm out.